If you're running your own business while also trying to grow a YouTube channel by doing everything yourself, or maybe not, maybe you just have one or two editors, I want to challenge you on something. If you're in this position, believe it or not, you are the bottleneck. If you're spending tons of hours every single week or every single month managing that editor, managing all of your files, organizing everything, coordinating with a thumbnail designer, etc., you are spending a lot of time doing things that are not making you that much money compared to if you were to hire that part out. And that's why I'm going to show you in this video how you can outsource that part of the business that is so crucial to your operations, and it should only cost you $500 to $600 per month. And this is through hiring something called a project manager. So for context, my team and I, we manage over 50 different YouTube channels in a bunch of different niches. Combined across all of our channels, we've done over 1 billion impressions and over 100 million long form views organic. So I would like to say that I have a pretty good idea of how to build production teams from scratch. Right now, our team has a bunch of editors, a bunch of thumbnail designers, and a couple of project managers. And I also recently just walked a business owner through this exact step-by-step process of how to hire a project manager. And now he's on his way to making one video every single week for the rest of his life. He went from posting a couple of times every single year to literally posting once every week. So let's get into it. I think the first thing that we need to talk about is how most business owners think that they need to hire a video editor if they want to start a YouTube channel. That's the first position that a lot of people say to outsource first, because video editing takes up a lot of time. Usually the business owner just wants to make the video and they don't want to edit the actual video. And yes, while you do need an editor, I would say that the first hire I would make at the very start is a project manager. And let me explain why. Without a project manager, you are that project manager. And some of the things that a project manager can do is they can come up with ideas. They can help manage the video editor. So once the editor is done creating the first draft of the video, they would be the one to watch the video, make sure that there's no mistakes. And not only that, but they can also help you find video editors as well. Beyond that, they can help manage thumbnail editors. They can find thumbnail editors for you. And ideally, they're managing the entire process from idea to posting the video on YouTube. So that takes away a lot of the work from your end, and it frees up a lot of your bandwidth that was preoccupied with coming up with ideas or managing the video editors and trying to tell the video editor, do this, do that, I don't like this. A lot of that stuff that's annoying about editing, sure, you can outsource it and you can hire a video editor, but then the next annoying thing just becomes telling the video editor how you want the video to be. And so basically that's where a project manager comes in. They would come in and make sure that things are organized, they're holding people accountable, and they themselves are reliable. So hiring in Southeast Asia, that's a great place to hire from if you want to keep your costs low. Over there, you can find a really solid project manager anywhere from $500 to $600 per month starting off. Now, here's where a lot of business owners kind of give me pushback. They want to hire from the States because they don't want to deal with the language barrier, or maybe they think that someone overseas isn't going to work as hard, or they can't really manage their time properly with another time zone because over there in Southeast Asia, they're working while you're sleeping for the majority of the day. There is some overlap, which we'll talk about, and that's actually a good thing in my opinion. For a lot of these things that are holding business owners back from hiring overseas, I don't think any of those things are true. I think they just haven't had the right process with hiring somebody overseas, and so they've ran into a lot of people who just don't have the skills, don't have the talent, or the work ethic. If you know how to position your company in a way that stands out from the rest of the companies and allows you to attract top talent when you're posting these jobs online, which I will show you actually towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you exactly what title and what job description that I used and the one that I gave a fellow business owner. And it's the exact same job post template that I gave to the business owner who's now posting one video per week. So yeah, once you actually perfect the skill of posting a good job post online, that's when you can find a lot of people in Southeast Asia who have amazing English. They're going to work really hard because they're working for the US currency, which is a lot stronger than their native currency. And then the time zone thing actually works in your favor because that cycle is actually really good for keeping your YouTube work separate from your business work. And I mean that by you are basically at night syncing with them, right? You're talking with them at night or early morning. And so when you go to bed, they are working on everything that you delegate to them, everything that you tell them about. And then when you wake up in the morning, you will see their work. You'll be able to give them feedback. And then for the rest of the day, the rest of the morning and the afternoon, you can focus on working on the business instead of working on the YouTube stuff. All the communication would just be in the evening. beginning. And this is the last thing that I want to say about this. This might be a hot take, but I don't think that somebody should start off hiring in the States, especially if you've never managed a team before. If you think about it, because if you're spending the same amount of time to manage and work with somebody and teach them how to do things, you might as well just pay the lower price. Like if I were to pay a couple $1,000s per month in the States, I can spend $500 to $600 per month to hire, to train, to basically go through the same mistakes that I would make as a leader, as someone who has never managed somebody before. Unless you hire somebody from the States who already has a bunch of experience, but in that case, that would be way more expensive, which as a beginner business owner who's never hired a team before for YouTube, you probably don't have the budget for that. So if you can't manage somebody overseas, chances are you probably can't manage somebody in the States either. You're gonna run into the same problems. The only difference is that you're gonna be paying way more for these problems in the States rather than just hiring somebody overseas. So how do you find a project manager? There are 3 ways that I would like to go over in this video. The first way is through Upwork. Pretty much every business owner who's not living under a rock knows what Upwork is. This is what I used, and it's completely free to post something on Upwork. And it's one of the largest marketplaces, which makes it such a good platform for finding high quality overseas talent. Option 2, which I personally think is even better, is LinkedIn. Now this is gonna cost you a little bit more money because you have to set a daily budget, or you can choose the option where you only pay once you hire somebody through LinkedIn. But in that case, it's not going to be free for you to actually post that job. But yeah, the quality of talent in Southeast Asia who are on LinkedIn, it's really, really good. A lot of these people have real work experience. They have a big portfolio of previous companies that they've worked at, and they have verifiable track records. So if you're willing to spend the extra money on hiring somebody to get higher quality talent, I would recommend going with LinkedIn compared to Upwork. But again, if you're running on a lower budget and you're looking for people to be able to train up, right? Somebody who has the mindset and the work ethic, and then you can teach them all of the skills, I would go with Upwork. Option 3 would be to use a recruiting company to hire somebody for you. Paired specializes in finding overseas talent, and they charge 30% of the first year's salary. So if you have a bigger budget, if you're an entrepreneur who values their time at more than $100 per hour, I think this makes the most sense for you, because they're just gonna speed up the whole process for you, and they're gonna do everything for you so that you don't have to spend the time and the brain power to be able to hire, recruit, onboard, and train somebody. So let's say if you're hiring somebody for $6,000 a year, then you would only be paying $1,800 upfront, just one time for the placement fee. But yeah, if you run the math and your time is worth $100 per hour and you spend 20 hours on hiring somebody, that's $2,000 worth of your time. So in that case, you might as well just go with a company to do it for you. But if you still want to do it yourself, now's the part of the video where I'm going to actually show you the template that I built out and the one that I gave Adam, who is now running his own YouTube channel with a project manager successfully. So this stuff actually works. And now I'm going to walk you through on my screen my job post that I put out, and then you guys could just copy it and input your guys' own niche into it. So here I am on the Upwork page, and you could see it says on the title, YouTube production project manager, long form content, $500 to $1,000 USD per month, fully remote, asynchronous. The reason why I did this is you have the price in USD, which would attract people who are interested in a stable salary over there in Southeast Asia. That's a very strong reason to apply for a job. And also it's fully remote. So a lot of people out there are looking for a full remote position to be able to earn a salary. And then in terms of the YouTube production project manager, that's just being very specific with what position I'm hiring for in the YouTube process and what kind of content am I doing? Am I doing long form or short form? Podcasts, be specific. So that's the title. And I would actually recommend, this is kind of a meta tactic. If you go onto Upwork and you just sign in or you sign up as a freelancer, then you can actually see all of the job posts out there, and you can see how different companies are wording their titles. And so this is kind of like how YouTube, you want to have a thumbnail and title that differentiates you from the crowd. You want to have a job title post that also differentiates yourself from the crowd. Now, in terms of the summary here, just to go over it really quickly, I just give a brief description of my specific niche. I'm being very specific with my type of content. So I'm only looking for long form. I'm being specific about the volume of content. So it depends on how much you're looking to do per week or per month. I would recommend Indonesia. That's a really good spot to look for in Southeast Asia. And I'm also being very clear about what they're gonna own. And here I have all the names of the tools that I use as well. And down here, I'm even more specific about about the responsibilities, the tools that we use, the requirements, nice to have, hours, compensation, how to apply. And right here, I like to do this thing where it's add the word pineapple at the top of your application. You could change this to any word that you want, but we want to make sure if we're looking for top talent, right, we want to make sure that they're actually detail oriented, especially as a project manager. So to do something like this, I can easily just see from all the proposals whether or not they actually paid attention and read through the whole thing, because they'll have pineapple at the top of their application. That's really all it takes. Within a day or two, you're going to receive proposals, and then you just have to look through those proposals, see which people you want to hop on a call with. You interview them for soft skills, see how well they fit into your company culture. So that's another thing. If you don't have any company core values or a mission statement, you should probably make that. I recommend reading the book Traction. This is what got me into that, and it's a great read for any entrepreneur who wants to really systemize their business. So yeah, everything that I just showed you, like what to put for the job post, the description, what to look out for, my mindset and the philosophy behind hiring top talent overseas to help run the YouTube production. That's just one piece of the puzzle. And there's so many other pieces to the full YouTube operation. So if you're a business owner and you don't want to figure all this out on your own, we actually have a setup service that we provide. This is a one-time fee, and we will basically build the entire foundation for your YouTube channel from scratch. We'll do the initial strategy with you. We'll give you all of our SOPs. We'll build out your content calendar. We'll set you up with your entire tech stack that you need. And you're going to get all of this as well. The hiring docs, not just for the project managers, but for video editors, thumbnail designers, etc. You're going to get scorecards, interview questions, test assessments that you can give candidates. So yeah, we basically build the system for you. We'll hand it over to you, and then you run it on your own. So if you want to apply, I'll leave a link down below in the description. Just takes 2 minutes to fill out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.